This is Radar from the Table Out coming at you another edition, of MLB observations week 23 of the 2025 MLB season. Let's start with the Yankees. Grisham leading off is great. Not great is when you put him, I don't know, 6th or 7th or 5th. Like, he's been great at the top of the lineup. Judge is one of the best number 3 hitters in the league. He has nobody's batting second. Bellinger batting third, playing corner outfield or first base is great, but not really center field or batting second. Blackburn, I know the Yankees may have a set 5-man rotation, but he's a starter. Caballero, I know they got him because of his versatility, but he's an infielder. Jazz playing second base is great, but anywhere 5th, 6th, and 7th is not his offensive game. Goldschmidt should be in the middle lineup, not leadoff. White Sox. Corey Lee, it seems like the Sox keep using him in blowouts, so the third-string catcher gets to do that. Either Chase Meidoff or Talkman leading off makes sense. Sosa should be middle lineup, not second, and I'm glad he's playing first base, but he did play some second base. Baldwin is not an outfielder, but with Robert hurt, I guess they have no one else that can play the outfield. Teal leading off or batting second, or Carroll leading off. Like, those guys are up because they're supposed to be talented offensive catchers. Catchers don't bat at the top of the lineup. It's just weird. They don't have the speed. And then the Sox have done multiple bullpen games, but then Tyler Alexander's pitching out of bullpen when he's a former starting pitcher. He could actually start. And then Cannon, I guess he's back in the minor leagues or healthy. He also pitch out of bullpen instead of starting. Cardinals, Herrera, this whole a million catchers, when you DH him, then you have to play guys out of position in the outfield. He's also taking away from other guys in the lineup, and he's not a two-hitter. Contreras back middle lineup is great, but we know he's not really a first baseman. Wynn is good in the top of the lineup, but now 5th or 6th. And Garrett Hampson's utility infielder. I know he can play the outfield, but he's not an outfielder. Red. TJ Friedl leading off makes sense because, again, he's been the leadoff guy, speed and contact. Navali Marte, now that he's in the outfield, which he's not really an outfielder, should be maybe 6th, 7th, not second. Cruz would be leading off on most teams, but I guess he's third because they want to do speed and contact. That makes sense when McLean was batting second, or Lux, not Marte. Hayes is also not a cleanup hitter. He's contact, so that's why it's weird. Spencer Steer, when he plays first base, by 6, cool. That's where he belongs. Nick Martinez pitching out of bullpen like I like because he's not a great starting pitcher. And Gavin Lux, I'm okay if he's in the 2 spot, but him 5th. When he's not a middle lineup hitter, him playing the outfield when he's an infielder is silly. And McLean got to play some shortstop, his actual position. Tampa Bay. Simpson is not an outfielder, but they want his speeds, which makes sense why he's leading off. You know, Junior Cavanero's been on fire this year. He should be in the middle lineup with Yanni Diaz. None of them should be batting second. Brandon Lau should be in the 2 spot, not the 3 or 4 spot. Washington. C.J. Abrams should be leading off. That's what he's been doing his whole career. And James Wood should be in the 3 spot. That's like, those should be set in stone. What's not set in stone is Garcia Jr. plays, I don't know, bats 3rd, 4th, 5th, or 6th. Like, he's all over the place. He's not a middle lineup hitter. Lyle batting second, that makes sense. Speed. And DeYoung playing second base and third base when he's a shortstop. Atlanta. You know, Profar leading off and Acuna batting third. I'm like, good. They finally decided to put a real guy in the leadoff spot, and Acuna should be the middle lineup. And then the other day, Acuna's leading off. I'm like, what are you doing? Olsen's still batting second, and then there are days where Albies, Harris, and Baldwin are batting 4th, 5th, or 6th, and I'm like, the lineup should be Acuna, Olsen, and Ozuna, and if Riley was healthy, that'd be one of the best lineups. And then Ah-Sung Kim, they just got him. He's batting 6th. I'm like, that's not a spot for a lineup who's a contact hitter. Philly. Trey Turner, it doesn't matter if it was him or Trey Stott leading off and the other one batting second. Trey Turner makes sense in the top. Kyle Schwarber makes sense 3 through 4, not second. Wilson's an infielder, stop playing in the outfield. You got plenty of outfielders. And then Bryce Harper, I still think he can play the outfield, but he's playing first base still. Brewers, Contreras batting second, and then some days he's batting third. The guy should be in the middle lineup, no matter if it's 3rd or 4th, like Yelich, 3rd or 4th. Terang, Frelick, whoever's leading off, it makes sense because they're speed and contact, do it. And then Jackson Churrio's back in batting second, also makes sense, speed and contact. Collins has played corner outfield, infield. He's an infielder. We don't really know what his position is, but they love his bat. Ashby pitching on a bullpen when he can start. And Monasterio, who's a natural born shortstop, should not be playing first base when you got Bowers and you got obviously Andrew Vaughn. Blue Jays, Springer leading off. I know he did that in Houston and sometime here in Toronto, but he's supposed to be one of the guys protecting Vlad in the lineup, not Bo Bichette. Bo Bichette should be at the top of the lineup, table setting, or being in 2 spot. And Barger also, I think, should be in the middle lineup, but they're putting him second some days. But the issue with Barger is keep him at third base. They got plenty of outfielders. He should not be playing the outfield. Same thing with Schneider. He should not be in the outfield. He should be in the infield. Varsho, there's 3 or 4 guys on that roster who can play center field. He should be in left field. Rodriguez and Lauer both pitch on the bullpen this week, and they both can start. And IKF is now on this team, and he's playing some third base. Pittsburgh, Terrell leading off and playing shortstop. I'm okay with him playing shortstop because he's a really good defensive player, but he's not a top-of-the-lineup hitter. He's a big, hulking guy. He's not the fastest guy. And IKF, when he was on Pittsburgh, him playing third base now is better than shortstop. Gonzalez, at least they bat him second a lot because I was like, yes, he had no business batting middle lineup. Reynolds playing right field when they haven't had a consistent left field every day has been annoying because he should just be in left field. And McCutcheon batting fifth or Cruz batting lower in the lineup instead of either one of them leading off this year makes sense. But Cruz is also not a center fielder. He'd be better suited in right field. And Peguero's a utility infielder who is a natural-born shortstop. He should not be playing first base. You got Spencer Horowitz, who also they batted leadoff or second when he should be middle lineup. Red Sox. Bregman batting second, Duran batting third, fifth, sixth, or seventh, whatever the case is. Duran was fine in the leadoff spot. Bregman should be middle lineup because Devers been traded this year and Costin's out for the year. And some of the other guys have been middle lineup this year and not middle lineup hitters, like Roman Gonzalez this week. He's a utility man, so he plays some second base when he's a natural-born shortstop. And he's also been doing a lot of first base with Costas hurt this year when he should not have to be. And then Matz and Hicks, both are starting pitchers pitching in a bullpen. Rob Refsnyder is not an outfielder. He's a second baseman. Mariners. When they got, the likes of Gino Suarez and Naylor, I'm like, cool, they fixed the middle of the lineup there. So Randy Rosarena's not the cleanup. Randy Rosarena could move down the fifth or sixth and be behind her in the middle of those guys. Cal Riley can still be third, and Julio Rodriguez can still be second with J.P. Cropper leading off. But they put Randy Rosarena leadoff spot and Cal Riley second. Like, I don't know why you changed it. Randy's not a leadoff hitter, and Cal's not a number two hitter. Cleveland, Schneemann, Martinez, and Jones and Kafis are all guys playing out of position. Schneemann and Martinez are middle infield utility guys who have the versatility that they have played in center field because Lane Thomas has been hurt, but they're not center fielders. At least Schneemann has played some second base or third base, and Martinez has played some second, and they put Schneemann second at least, speed and contact. Jones has played some more right field, but he's not a center fielder, and Kafis is the first baseman, playing the outfield because there's nowhere else to put him, which I think one of the reasons they probably let Carlos Santana go because they have too many guys at first base and DH. And Junis and Allard both pitch on a bullpen when they're starters. Miami, Xavier Edwards leading off has been good no matter what position he's at. And Agustin Ramirez, the rookie catcher, batting third is great. Who's not great is Otto Lopez batting middle lineup or Ramirez batting second. Lopez should be second and Ramirez should stay in the middle lineup. Senyoa, the utility man, they threw him in the outfield even though he's not an outfielder, and he's pitched multiple times as you do with utility guys. Hicks and Tyler and this Johnson guy or Tyler or whatever his name is, Johnson, playing first base when one's a catcher and one's an outfielder. That's why you kept Wagaman. Don't throw even Wagaman in the outfield, which is weird. Mets, Lindor and Soto 1 and 2. When I've been saying that they should be in the middle lineup with Pete Alonso. However you figure that out, but they had a time where Lindor was second and Soto was third and Nimmo was fourth. And Alonso was fourth. I'm like, cool. And Nimmo's at the top. Nimmo batting fourth or fifth. We've been over. He's not a middle lineup hitter. Torrance, the backup catcher pitching a blowout makes sense. They lost the DH maneuvering. Beatty's playing second base because they want to get other guys in the lineup at third base when he's a third baseman. They want his bat. And the Jet McNeil's out there playing center field when he's not even an outfielder. Angels, Neto leading off is great. Ward batting third now that he's back. And Trout batting third a few days. Cool. Why don't you just keep it consistent? Neto leading off every day. Trout and Ward in the middle lineup. Rengifo's batted second a few times. Keep Rengifo second. But he's also not an outfielder. Reed Detmers pitching at a bullpen when he started. Yoel Moncada also batted second. I'm like, dude, that guy should be sixth or seventh in this lineup. Peraza, he was playing first base in New York because they had no choice, but he's in L.A. I know Chanel's hurt, but there are other options. He's a utility middle infielder. And Kingery, another utility infielder, out there playing center field. Houston, Pena leading off is the thing that makes the most sense that Houston has done this past week. Yordan Alvarez is back from the injured list, and he's batting second some days. I'm like, what are you doing? Altuve is still batting third. Why don't you swap that? That's what it will make the most sense. And then Alvarez is playing left field, even though they made a decision at the start of the year he's going to be the everyday DH, which opened a hole in left field to put Altuve in left field, and then he still played some left field this week and some second base, still doing that weird experiment. Correa batting cleanup has been good instead of second because that makes sense. They got him for his bat. They're like, now they'll throw him back second, and he's still playing out. It's weird to see him playing third base out of position. And then Cade Smith has been an infielder playing right field all year because of injuries, and Dubon's the utility guy also playing the outfield due to injuries. Detroit, Keith and Torres. Both can't play second base at the same time, so it didn't matter if Keith is playing first base, DH, or even third base, but they should be batting in the middle lineup to protect Carpenter, not batting 1 and 2. So Carpenter batting third has been great, but he's not an outfielder. He should be DHing. Riley Green, in my opinion, should be at the top, not in the cleanup spot. There are guys in this lineup that can do that. Baez out there playing center field when he's not an outfielder. And there's Samai Jones guy leading off is okay. And then Paddock, who they traded at the deadline, guess what? He's going to relieve, even though we traded at the start. And the Royals have Yastrzemski leading off now with Witt instead of India. And that's fine. Yaz or Witt at the top makes sense. But India batting 6th or 7th has no offensive value. Miguel Garcia even taking a turn to leadoff spot when other days he's batting 4th. Is weird. He's not a leadoff hitter. Massey, Tolbert, and Frazier all playing the outfield because they didn't really do their best to get a left fielder, but also they can play Caglione or that Rave guy in left field, or they can play Gritchick if they're doing that, but they want the bats. They want the bat of Massey, they want Frazier's bat, they want Tolbert's speed, so it's whatever. San Diego, Tatis leading off, and I've been saying all season, probably should be batting 3rd with Machado cleanup followed by Bogarts. While Arise, they moved him once to the middle. I'm glad he's still in the 2 spot, but he played second base this week, his actual natural position. Sheets is still playing the outfield even though he's a first baseman DH and has no business. Same thing with O'Hearn. Cronenworth playing first base when I mentioned we have Arise, we got Sheets, and now we have O'Hearn. Should not ever be playing first base. But he has played some shortstop this week because Bogarts is injured. Manny Ramirez moved from the 3 spot to the 2 spot, which is stupid. He should always be in the middle lineup. And now Jackson Merrill's back, so I'm glad he's batting 6th. Twins, Buxton leading off makes sense. Jeffers or Larnach at the 1 or 2 do not make sense. They should be in the middle lineup. Clemens as a second baseman, third baseman playing the outfield or first base, and Julian playing the outfield or first base. It's like the guys, there's too many. They have too many middle infielder or infield utility guys, and there's nowhere to put them, so they want their bat. They DH the guy last, which is a waste of a DH spot, and the super utility man, journeyman Fitzgerald pitched, which makes sense in a blowout. Bush being 1 or 2 in the lineup when he should be like 6th or 7th is just like, that's the wrong leadoff guy. Tucker, I've been saying all season, should be batting 3rd or 4th. He's been consistently batting 2nd. Say's been batting 3rd, which is fine. PCA's batting 4th or 5th. I think he should be lower. Happ batting 5th makes sense. I'd just rather him not in the leadoff spot. The Cubs have had Hodge, Brown, Pomerantz, Keller, and now Savali all pitch out of bullpen when they're starters. Nico Horner leading off a lot of days makes sense. Speed and contact. Him batting 5th? No. Willie Castro playing center field when they don't. Well, it's only because they don't really have a backup center fielder, so that's the problem. He's a better infielder. Rockies, Moniak and Tovar 1 and 2, Beck 3 and 4. Makes sense. Tovar batting 5th? No. Doyle batting 4th or 5th? No. Those are like glove first players. That should be lower. Bernabel and Arcia are both natural born shortstops. Should not be playing first base, but they have too many infielders. Sennatella pitching a bullpen when he should start. Tyler Freeman, utility man, leading off has been fine, but he's not an outfielder, but at least he's played some second. And then the Texas Ranger, Higgyosha DHing when, you have other guys you can DH. He's the backup catcher. Smith, the utility man, playing first base or shortstop. Those are not his best spots, but he has to in a pinch. Him leading off is fine. Dylan Moore also playing first base when he's an infielder. And Langford getting playing center field has been good because Evan Carter's been hurt. 8th, Butler leading off makes sense. I've been saying this all season. Do not bat at 6th or 7th. No offensive value. Chandelier is batting leadoff for 2nd when he should be 5th or 6th. Makes no sense offensively because he's a catcher. He's slow. Soderstrom playing some first base because I've been saying this. He's not an outfielder and they still do it. Wilson batting 5th or 6th. Also, what offensive value does a speed and contact defensive guy have? Top of the lineup, 1 or 2 makes sense. Kurtz, the big Amish, he's a real big, hulking, slugging first baseman. He should be middle lineup with Rooker, Shea Langoliers, and Soderstrom, and that's a really good lineup for a bad team like the Yates. They lost the DH maneuvering. Rooker playing the outfield makes sense to get more. It would hope to get Soderstrom out of the outfield. And Geloff, and I'm glad he's back, but he's not a 6th hitter. If he's not going to bat 2nd, he should bat 8th or 9th. And then Arizona, Martin Perdomo leading off 1 and 2. It doesn't matter who's 1 or 2. Like I said all season with Carroll, it doesn't matter. And then Corbin Carroll batting 3rd is all you have to do now with all the guys you've traded, all the guys have been hurt. Blaze Alexander's not an outfielder, he's an infielder. Ilimel Vargas is a super utility guy. Why don't you DH Marte and play Vargas there? Because Vargas is a utility journeyman. I wouldn't DH that type of player. Chris Matt started, but Woodford out of bullpen. Both are starter. LA Otani leading off and bet 2nd. It didn't matter the combination. I just never thought those guys should be at the top. Because with injuries and all this other stuff, they have a bunch of rookies or utility guys playing anywhere between 4, 5, 6, and 7. It's not that scary. And Blitz, I still think should be in the outfield, not shortstop. Holiday leading off, Henderson 3rd. They've had that. Westbrook was 2nd. Now they have one of these Jackson, and then this Jackson guy batting 2nd. He's actually listed as a natural born infielder, so him in the outfield is weird. And I still think Gunnar Henderson would be better suited at 3rd base defensively. And Mayo's playing first base, even though he's not a first baseman. Lastly, the Giants. days where Lee and Adames is 1 and 2 and Devers and Chapman is 3 and 4, like that makes sense. How it should have been, like it was at the beginning of the year. Speed and contact. Yes, they didn't have Devers right away, but still speed and contact, RBI power. Not to have Lee 7th or Adames 3 or 4 or Devers 2nd or Ramos 1 or 2. Like you gotta have speed and contact and RBI power guys in different spots. Devers played some first base, and even this week he played some third base when Chapman, I think, got ejected from a game, so they saw him do that. Cost, the young infielder, pitching a blowout. And Lucchesi still starting pitcher, pitching out of bullpen. Thank you again for listening to another edition of MLB Observations, Week 23 of the 2025 MLB season. For Honor Table, I'm Radar. See you guys next time.